Hey guys, here's a review of the G-Rich G900 foregrip here. It is a light foregrip, obviously. We have a 130 lumen bulb here and two nav lights that are LED. So this is not the LED version, so it's not quite nearly as bright. I think the LED version is 160 lumen. Now, typically I don't like to have anything that's under 200 lumen if I'm playing an airsoft game in the dark. So I was kind of wondering if this was going to do the trick or not. I went ahead and ran this during a couple competitions at night, and to be honest, it is not quite as bright as I would like. I mean, I am used to this flashlight here, which is significantly brighter, but I also wanted to see if I could get a grip that would actually provide adequate lighting. So this does enough. I ran this only in the shoot house that night, and it did its job, but it was very narrow. It has a decent spread, but it's very yellow type lighting, so old school style. And the nav lights are pretty cool to have if you're working on anything that's about a foot or two away from the end of your gun, but really it's not that great. Even for trying to see where you're walking, they're not actually that bright. They don't project very well. However, there are a few good things on this. The grip is actually pretty comfortable. The batteries are CR123s, I believe, so they're kind of hard to get a hold of unless you get on eBay. Then they're really cheap, so just buy a handful of them. It takes 3 in the handle, I believe. Other than that, it's got this quick, and I wouldn't call it a quick release, but it's an easy on-off onto your rails. Something to consider is the back end here is pretty long, and so if you want to butt it right up to the edge of a short rail, you may have some issues, but if you stick it all the way out at the very end, you can see only this part really needs to be touching or connected to a rail. This part's just kind of free floating here. I just put it on the end of my SR10 all the way out, and to clear the barrel with this. Hopefully, I did have some issues with the light not hitting the end of my barrel, but that's just because I have a long suppressor on. The other feature here that I really do like, though, is there's this switch right here, and it's a permanent on, so you don't have to hold the button down the whole time. But this is one pressure switch on this side. There's also one on the other side as well. And then the back one here is for the LEDs. Overall, the build quality is really good. I mean, if you're going to compare it to the Surefire M900A, this one's about 40 to 60 bucks. The other one, the actual one, is about $450 to $500. So definitely for airsoft, this is much more applicable. It looks pretty good. It's comfortable, like I said. But if you're looking for an adequate light source for night games and you want to be able to see further than 30 or 40 feet and be able to identify targets, especially the color that they're wearing in the dark, you're going to need a brighter flashlight than this. If it's just for finding your way around in the evening games, making sure you don't trip over rocks, this will do good. But, however, there is, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think there's an LED version here. I'm seeing that's 160 lumen. I saw a few pictures with the light source on that. It's a much wider light, and it looks like things would be clear there. So go ahead and check that out. Again, this is the J-Rich G900 or M900. You can probably find it for 40, 50, 60 bucks, somewhere around there. Something else I wanted to mention real quick is that KWA rails are very tight to specification for the rail size, and this is not adjustable on the flashlight. So once I got it on, it fit nice and snug, no wobble, but now I can't get it off. I forgot about that, so I just get a screwdriver and have to pry it off that way. So it's not really a quick release anymore. Just thought I'd point that out.